Today I want to share with you a 2023 channel update. Hi sweet friends, I'm Mary and welcome to Mary's Nest, where I teach traditional cooking skills for making nutrient-dense foods like bone broth, ferment, sourdough, and more. So if you enjoy learning how to be a modern pioneer in the kitchen, consider subscribing to my channel. And don't forget to click on the little notification bell below. That'll let you know every time I upload a new video. Well, first and foremost, I want to wish you a very happy, healthy, and blessed new year. I always like to start the new year by saying that this is going to be the best year ever, and I hope that is the case for you too. Next, I just want to quickly mention that if at any time you want to jump ahead, be sure to open the description underneath this video where I'll have the chapter timestamps listed with everything that I'm going to cover. Well, we've had a lot of new subscribers here, and if you're new here, the first thing that I want to say to you is welcome. And I'm so glad that you're joining us on this traditional foods journey. I spent many years teaching people how to make traditional nutrient-dense foods right here in my kitchen. And when my son went to college, he and my husband encouraged me to put my cooking classes online, specifically on YouTube. And I'm so glad that I did that. Because to be honest with you, in the beginning, I never expected that there would be so many people interested in learning how to make traditional nutrient-dense foods. But there were, and that brings so much joy to my heart because I'm passionate about preserving these skills, preserving the way to make nutrient-dense foods by taking whole foods, real foods, and properly preparing them to maximize our ability to absorb nutrients from them. So please know that it's such a joy to have you all on this traditional foods journey with me. It's just a delight learning from all of you, as well as sharing with you what I've learned over the years. What I'd like to do is talk a little bit about where we've been and where we're going. I started this channel in the summer of 2018 by adding a group of videos that I like to call Mastering the Basics. And in those videos, it's a series of a total of 15 videos, I shared how to master the basics of making traditional nutrient-dense foods. And what does that include? Well, I started with bone broth and cultured dairy and ferments and sourdough starter, sourdough bread, how to soak and sprout grains and make sprouted flour, and all of those things that come under that traditional nutrient-dense foods umbrella. In the ensuing years, we moved on to making videos all about how to use the traditional foods we were making to make traditional meals. And then we hit 2020, and I shared with you how to be prepared, which was something we really needed to be that year. And I talked about the Four Corners Pantry, the working pantry that we access every day, our refrigerator, our freezer, and then most importantly, our extended pantry, or what we nickname our prepper pantry. And I created a whole series of videos for you on how to stock your Four Corners pantry, and then also how to properly store all of your foods to keep them as fresh and extend their life as long as possible. And along with all of that, I have for you a 36-page Four Corners essential pantry list. I believe that's what I call it. And I'll be sure to put a link to that in the description below so that you can head over to my website, Mary's Nest, same name as my YouTube channel, and download that or print it out, whatever you'd like to do. It is 36 pages long, so you can certainly just download it and keep it on your computer or your phone. But I really like to print it out and put it in my kitchen journal. And if you've not started a kitchen journal, be sure to do so. It's a wonderful resource as you go through the journey, the traditional foods journey, of keeping track of the foods you're making, what happened, were they successful, what was the temperature, where did you place them, so on and so forth. Because as you'll learn as you get farther along on your journey, or if you're already well established, you have learned that things like ferments and sourdough starters and culturing dairy, they can all be a little persnickety. And that's why I recommend keeping a kitchen journal. And I show you how to put one together, and I share mine with you in a video, which I'll be sure to link to. And speaking of that, whenever I mention any recipes or playlists and so on and so forth, rather than repeating myself continually and telling you that I'll put the links in the description below, know that they will be in the description. And if for any reason I run out of space in the description because you're only allowed a certain amount of characters, I'll definitely put everything in the pinned comment. Also, along with the pantry list, which is very appropriate to right now, the season that we're in, winter, I have a winter meal plan that can really help you know the process of not only preparing your various traditional ingredients, but then how to incorporate them into meals. And it's a 7-day meal plan, and it walks you through breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You had asked me to share something like this to make life a little easier for you so that you could have meal plans all laid out for you, along with all of the recipes, ingredients, so on and so forth, needed to create a week's worth of traditional meals from breakfast, lunch, and including breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So be sure to download that as well when you're over on my website. I think you'll find it very helpful. I also have a lot of printables for you that I started preparing based on the questions that I had received from you in comments. And you were interested in learning on how to accelerate the process of stocking your pantry and your working pantry and stocking your extended or prepper pantry. I show you how to do these things on a budget, what foods to eliminate, not permanently, only temporary, while you stock up more on the true essentials that you will need in the event that you're snowed in, or you lose your job, or you're ill, or whatever the case may be, and you can't get to the grocery store, or you don't have a lot of money to spend right now on particular foods. This way, accelerating stocking your working pantry and your extended pantry can help you during those times so that you at least have 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month, maybe 2 months of food to see you through a difficult time. And I have many more printables or downloads for you that will help you on this traditional foods journey, from specifically what foods you want to make sure that you're incorporating into your meals, especially when you're getting started, and how to shop for these foods, how to prepare them, and so on and so forth. And I've put everything into these nice little 1 or 2 page printables to be very handy for you, very ready for you to reference, especially if they're in your kitchen journal, whenever you're going through the process of creating a particular type of food. So within our traditional foods journey, we worked on mastering the basics, then we moved to using the foods we were making to create meals, and then we also covered how to stock our pantries. And along with stocking our pantries, I also have videos where I shared with you the best cook's tools and cook's equipment that can be very helpful in the traditional foods kitchen. And I share with you one of my favorites, which is the Mockmill, the grain grinder. And as you incorporate whole grains into your pantry, that grain grinder is wonderful. It's very affordable. I did a lot of research before I bought that, and I actually bought that with my own money. That was not given to me by Mockmill. And I did a lot of research before buying it, and I absolutely love it, and it works terrific. And if you're in the market for a grain mill, I definitely will put a link to my shopping guide in the description underneath this video. And if you head over there, I have a nice discount coupon code for you from Mockmill. I contacted them and told them how much I love their grain mill and would they provide a coupon or code or discount code for my viewers, and they were happy to do so. And there's a whole bunch of other discount coupons over there for you on different things like Redmond's Real Salt and grass-fed meats and a whole host of things, fermenting equipment, all different things like that. So be sure to check that shopping guide to help you save some money. Next, I shared with you, sort of under this whole traditional foods, sort of traditional kitchen umbrella, master recipes for how to make medicinal herbal remedies. I think after 2020, so many people became very interested in herbal remedies. And so I created many videos, and I have everything in a playlist to make it very easy for you. And I show you how to make medicinal herbal teas, syrups, tinctures, oils, salves, on and on and on. A lot of videos about how to prepare herbs, how to grow them, how to dry them, how to use them to make these various recipes for things that you might want. I have a very popular video where I show you how to make what I call a good night's sleep tea using herbs. But those master recipes, those initial recipes that I share with you, are extremely helpful because you can adjust them in terms of adjusting the herbs you use to create what you want to make, what particular condition you may need a little help with, or easing some symptoms that you might have. And I always recommend that if you need a book, definitely check your library for a book by a woman named Rosemary Gladstar. She's amazing. She's been writing about herbs for years. And because her books are very popular, you can probably find one in your local library. Her first one, or not necessarily her first one, but the one she has that speaks to the beginner is wonderful. She covers a whole bunch of herbs in that book and how to grow them, how to harvest them, and then how to use them to make various home remedies. And then if you find you really like it, you can always add that to your kitchen library. And I'll link to her book so that you can learn more about her. But she's a wonderful resource because you always have to keep in mind that herbs, although we use them for culinary purposes, are also have medicinal properties. And so we need to be aware of that, especially if we're pregnant or nursing, or we're thinking of using herbs with children, or if we're taking any kind of medication, even over-the-counter medication as well as prescription medication, because herbs can interact with those medications and they could potentially have negative effects. So you want to make sure that you talk to whatever type of healthcare provider you use, a medical doctor, nurse, naturopath, if I'm saying that correctly. Whatever the case may be, you want to speak to someone to make sure that the herbs you're planning on using are appropriate to your particular situation. And another thing that I always like to share with you whenever I talk about herbs, and this is something that often gets left out, is that if you have hay fever, you need to be careful about the herbs that you use. And so this can come in very helpful, when you talk to your particular medical provider, and also very helpful when you're looking through Rosemary Gladstar's books or any books on herbs or sources you may like on the internet. Because if you are susceptible to hay fever, there are herbs that are sort of under the umbrella of hay fever inducing type herbs, or they can induce hay fever symptoms, particular herbs. And so you want to be a little conscious of that, because you don't want to take some herbs that you think are going to help you and then you find your nose is running and you're sniffling and so on and so forth. So always do your research whenever you're working with herbal remedies. But in any event, so those are sort of the four main areas that we've really focused on the last 4 years. Mastering the basics of nutrient-dense foods, using those foods to make meals, stocking our pantries, and also making our various herbal home remedies. So now, where are we going in this 5th year? Well, I recently did 2 question and answer videos back in December, where I tried to cover all of the questions that you had asked me, whether in comments or emails, regarding all of the subjects I just mentioned, the traditional food preparation, the pantry, home remedies, so on and so forth. And during that process, it really helped me zero in on those areas that are most important to you when it comes to making traditional foods. And so many of you have shared with me that this is the year you really want to master sourdough. And so I will definitely be incorporating more videos on all of the different nuances, so to speak, of working with a sourdough starter and how to make not only sourdough bread, but other bread-like items or bread types items made with sourdough, like muffins and rolls and so on and so forth, as well as a sandwich type bread made with a sourdough starter as opposed to just the popular boules. You've also asked me to help you more when it comes to making ferments, vegetable ferments specifically, and sharing more recipes on a variety of vegetable ferments. And I've already got that planned. We're going to have a lot of fun this year with fermentation. And given everything that we've been through since 2020, many of you have been very interested in learning how to make more home remedies, simple things that can help ease our symptoms, whatever the case they may be. And I'm always happy to share those things. My mother was a big proponent of home remedies, so I've got a lot to share. And I always want to remind you, though, I'm not a medical professional. I'm a home cook, raised by a home cook. And the home remedies I share hopefully are helpful at easing symptoms, but always remember I'm also a big fan of integrative medicine, and I believe in dealing with your medical professional whenever you don't feel well and incorporate the benefits that are afforded us from Western medicine, but then being able to supplement that with some home remedies that often can just help make us feel more comfortable. And speaking of home remedies, I know I share this with you often, but I'm a big fan of Dr. Andrew Weil, and I enjoy reading his books, and he's more or less considered the father, so to speak, of modern integrative medicine. Of course, integrative medicine, complementary medicine, whatever you call it, has been around a long time, but he really sort of reinvigorated it and formed the Integrative School of Medicine. I'm not sure if I've got the right name there, but it's at the University of Arizona's medical school. And the concept of integrative medicine training has really spread, at least here in the United States, has spread across our country to many medical schools. So I think that over time, we're finding that medical doctors trained in integrative medicine are learning more about home remedies or remedies from ancient cultures and how they may actually help us. And I've shared a lot of blog posts with you over on my website where I have shared many links to many studies, medical studies or scientific studies that have found the benefits of things like ginger and turmeric and garlic and onions and all of these things that we can find very easily at our grocery store and have in our traditional foods kitchen. These are foods that have wonderful anti-inflammatory properties, anti-viral properties, antibacterial properties, antimicrobial properties. They can do so much to help us. And so I will definitely be incorporating more home remedies this coming year. I also plan to take you along with me when I go shopping, when I specifically go grocery shopping. I did this a few times last year, and you told me that you really enjoyed it. You really enjoyed coming with me and seeing what I actually buy, what I actually put in my shopping cart, and how I do it on a budget, and how I read ingredients, and how I make decisions on what I choose to buy, and what I bring home, and how I prepare it. And so I definitely am going to do that more this coming year. I'll be taking you grocery shopping with me, and walking through the aisles with my sweet husband as my cameraman with the phone. And I will show you exactly how I shop and just what I buy. And if you're new here, or if you've been with me for a while and something comes into your mind, definitely leave it in the comments below and let me know what you would like me to cover if I've not discussed it here in this video, because I really pay attention and read the comments, and I try to incorporate what you tell me into the videos that I make. And please know, it brings me so much joy to be able to be here and teach you the traditional food skills that I've learned over the course of my life, to be able to share with you how to become self-sufficient and a modern pioneer in the kitchen. That's the ultimate goal, self-sufficiency. Learn as much as you can, teach others, and keep these skills alive. We don't want to lose these skills. Knowing how to make traditional foods, knowing how to feed ourselves, our friends, and our families, how to be self-sufficient, and how to be able to rely on ourselves during difficult times is so important. So know that I'm here for you. I'm here to provide information for you, free information, through videos, through blog posts, and that I'm here to answer your questions through comments and emails best that I can. I also want to mention that as we proceed on this traditional foods journey, always keep in mind this is a journey. Don't rush. Don't put pressure on yourself to be perfect. No one expects any of us to be perfect. Take your time little by little. If you're at the very beginning of your traditional foods journey, just start with mastering the basics. Try your hand at bone broth made with a chicken carcass. And if you're brave and can find them and you're okay with using chicken feet, throw a few of those in. But something like that is very affordable and it's very easy to make. I walk you through step by step. So just take your time with it and don't feel you need to rush and start day one having a completely traditional foods kitchen and serving a completely traditional foods meal. It's not necessary. And often when you try to do that, it can cause frustration and failure, and then you can have the feeling of just, what is the expression, you just throw in the towel and go through the fast food line, when you're in the car. And so you don't want to do that. You want to incorporate things slowly, take your time. As you have problems, definitely leave me comments. I'm happy to help. It's always best, something I will say about comments, if you leave a comment on an older video, maybe when you're watching, and I have about 500 videos for you now, so there's quite a collection there. But if you leave a comment on an older video, I may not see it right away. But what you can do, and I've noticed that some of you do this, and it makes me very happy, you can always leave me a comment on a video that I've released recently, even if it's not related to the video. Don't worry about that. Just leave your comment there, and I am more likely to see that than I would on a video that maybe I made at the very beginning of this journey, of this YouTube journey. I get a lot of comments, I get a lot of emails. I do my best, I try to read through a lot, but it can be very challenging. And something I do plan on working on this year on my website, which hopefully, God willing, if everything goes smoothly, I'll be able to launch a new website this year. It's going to make it very easy for you to find videos and find recipes. All of my YouTube videos are embedded on my website, and so I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So I think that new website is going to be very enjoyable and very helpful for you. And what I'm planning on trying to do is to create a question and answer page that you'll be able to go to, so that if I'm not able to answer your email, hopefully your question will be answered on that question and answer page, because I get thousands of emails and I wish I could respond to every single one. I think many people who have a website feel this way. and I try to read as many as I can, but trying to respond to everyone is challenging since basically this is me and my husband doing this. So it's just the two of us. So as you can imagine, trying to read through and answer thousands of emails can be extremely challenging. But I do want to put that Q&A page together because something I have found is that a lot of the emails, as well as a lot of the comments I get on my YouTube channel, do fall into certain categories where people are asking the same questions over and over again. So I'm hoping that Q&A page will help. Also, something that I want to mention is that whenever you think of something that may be challenging you with your particular recipe that you're working on. Maybe you're watching a sourdough starter video or whatever the case may be. Sometimes just scanning a little bit through the comments, you will see that someone asked the same question and I've responded to it, because I pretty much have responded to many comments on every video I have. And because every time I would launch a video, I would spend a lot of time answering the comments. And so, and even now, occasionally, if it does prompt me and comes up comments on older videos, when I say prompt me, like YouTube prompts me, that I have all these older comments, I do even try to go back and answer some of those. It's not as reliable as the newer ones where I see those right away and can answer those. However, I think that as you scroll down through comments on my videos, regardless of whether they're old or new, you may find your question answered. And you have to keep in mind, I generally have a corresponding blog post to most of my videos. And in that blog post, I often share a lot more information than I can in the video. Otherwise, my video might be 2 or 3 hours long. I know they're already long because I do like to give a very thorough tutorial type video. But I often share a lot of interesting information and helpful information in my blog posts. So definitely go out and go over and check out my website as is. I do think it's very nice, but I think the updated one, when it comes out, and I'll definitely announce that, is even going to be easier to navigate. But if you're over there checking on the shopping guide or whatnot, look around on the website, and I think that you'll be happy with what you can find there. Also, last year, I started making shorts, the new feature that YouTube offers that have to be 60 seconds or less. Now, those of you who've been with me for a while, as I just mentioned, my videos do tend to be lengthy because I tend to be very thorough. So I initially found shorts a little challenging, but I'm working on getting better and better at them. So be sure to check, if you go to my homepage on YouTube, it's just like YouTube/Mary's Nest. If you go to my homepage and you look at the little toolbar across the top right under my banner, it'll say like video or home, videos, playlists, community, or shorts, something like that. But shorts is listed in there, and you can click on that and you can see all of the shorts that I've posted so far. But I definitely plan on doing my best to put out at least one short every week with a helpful tip regarding the Traditional Foods Kitchen, and hopefully those can be little nuggets that can just help you on your traditional foods journey. And if there is something that you would specifically like me to cover in a short, some little nugget that you feel would be very helpful to you, that'd be in 60 seconds or less, be sure to let me know in the comments. Also, when you're over on my YouTube homepage, be sure to check the community tab in the toolbar. I try to post there very regularly with different types of tips and whatnot to help you in your Traditional Foods Kitchen, on your traditional foods journey. I share helpful information there that I may find on the internet or in an article that I've read. And I also share links to different videos that I've made that maybe you've missed, but are a popular video on a traditional food subject that I think that you might enjoy. So I've got a lot of fun and exciting things planned for this year. We're going to make a lot more traditional foods, a lot more traditional food meals. We're going to make home remedies. I'm going to take you shopping with me, and we're going to stock our Four Corners pantry with real foods within a budget that are easy to prepare. It's going to be a wonderful year, and we're going to continue on this amazing traditional foods journey together. Now, if you want to get started making traditional foods, mastering the basics like bone broth, cultured dairy, ferment, sourdough, and more, be sure to click on this video over here where I have a full playlist that's going to help you get started. And I'll see you over there in my Texas Hill Country kitchen. Love and God bless.